When I was a kid, you know, I was absolutely obsessed with Michael Jackson. Like, I had the one glittery glove. I had slacks that had sequins on them, a sequined vest, a sequined hat. I tried to learn the dance moves, but because I was 7 and kind of a dum-dum, I wasn't really pulling it off. But damn, did I have fun. I loved Michael. And any chance I got to perform and dance to Michael's music, I was taking that chance. Well, one summer, school was out, so I'd go to my cousin's house and she would watch me and other kids during the day while my parents worked. And then we would go to like summer camp during the day, come back and then we'd go home. So it was like a daily thing. Well, one day I remember watching Michael Jackson in the Morning. MTV. Huge, of course. Well, I saw Michael and I got this idea. I want to look like Michael. More so because I dance just like him. I look amazing. I want to dance like Michael. Now I'm going to show you what I was going for. And a lot of you will recognize this. You'll know what I'm talking about. And you'll be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Perfect. Do you remember this? You're going to say, of course. Of course you do. This was Michael Jackson Bad. It was on the cover of the Bad album. And I thought to myself when I watched this video in the morning, I have a black shirt. I have a jacket. I have pants. I could do this. I'm a creative guy. I think I was about 10. So I'm going to say over maybe the course of a week, I used all of my creative energy to build this outfit. And I remember looking at the top of the cassette, which I might still have, and being like, okay, this needs to go here. This goes here. And I remember looking at it, laying on the bed and be like, oh my God, I did it. I nailed it. I did it. Well, the next day was my day. So I put on them pants. I put on 6 belts because you can see the 6 belts down here. The shirt, the jacket. And I strutted through. Like, I had my black boombox with my Michael Jackson tape. I put it over my shoulder like we did back then. And I strutted into summer camp with sunglasses. Move. Oh, it didn't stink. I was amazing. And I was going to make more friends. There was a moment during the day. This was summer. I was standing in a circle of people, feeling like a complete badass because I look like this. I'm 10 years old, but I look just like this. Standing in this circle of people, and I just throw up. Not cool. I've completely ruined my look because now I've just thrown up. Why did I throw up? Because I'm sweating my ass off wearing 6 belts, 3 shirts, a jacket, a couple pants. Like, I'm struggling. I got like heat exhaustion and I'm like wobbling around like the dum-dum that I am. And I'm struggling, right? So they take my jacket off and they take my 6 shirts off and I'm sitting there in the bathroom and was like, oh, I'm so sick, right? And here's the kicker. You know how sometimes it's like you just have a moment of clarity and you're like, how did I not see that before? This was the first moment that I remember having a pristine moment of clarity. Because as I'm sitting there on the bathroom floor with one of the counselors, who is I don't know, maybe 16, right? And I'm 10 and I'm like, oh, I'm so sick. I look over and they're holding this weird denim jacket with like a bunch of pins. You know, like when you like a pin, like, oh, I voted, or our new baby. You know the pins we used to wear? It was a bunch of those pinned all over the jacket. It was on the sleeves, it was on the back, on the front. And I looked at this jacket and I was like, what the hell is that? That's not my jacket. That was my jacket. I somehow convinced myself that my blue jean jacket, if I just put a bunch of pins all over it, would look like Michael. It did not. And when I say pins, they weren't like cool pins. They were literally like, we had a pin that showed my brother's fat little baby face, took up most of the pin, and it said, our new baby. Why do you need pins made? He's right there. But I thought that was enough to put it on my jacket and strut around, clink, clank, clink, clank, clink, sounding like a bag of cans walking down the street. But I'd convinced myself that this is exactly what I look like. And I faced heat exhaustion. Dum-dum. The first moment of clarity. It's like I came online in that moment. Oh, God, what a bozo. What a friggin' bozo. I'm glad I could share that with you. It's like just when I get to that point where you respect me a little bit, I'm like, nah, let's fix that. And then I tell you some shit like that. Okay.